Okay, honestly, too, what I'm reaching out for is for all you rail fans out there, all you acdc fans out there, all you Star Wars fans out there. I'm a huge Star Wars fan. I love Star Wars since my dad is a huge Star Wars influence on me, more than my mom. And I've just loved Star Wars ever since. Right now I'm reading Heir to the Empire. I love it. They should put Grand Admiral Thrawn in the movies. Second is I'm a huge avid train rail fan. My very first train ride, my very first train, was the Strasbourg Railroad. I think either back in 1999 or 2001. My eyes got wide open. I rode in the Hello Dolly car when it was still painted yellow. And basically, funny story is that I cried all the way up to Paradise and back. But the locomotive was Strasbourg number 475, which is my all-time favorite steam locomotive. That locomotive will have one spot in my heart. And that's how I got started rail fanning. From then on, I went to Horseshoe Curve. I always go every summer. I love Horseshoe Curve. And I was there when Conrail was still phasing, like 2003, 2004, when Conrail, Norfolk Southern started painting over the Conrail locomotives. And then my very first experience with acdc was that I was in school just looking on YouTube. I was maybe 13, 14 at least. Maybe 15 or 16. I think 15. Yes, 15. And I stumbled upon a video called Highway to Hell, and I watched it, and then I loved it. But I didn't know the band. And then I think 3 years later, the band name came to my head, and it was acdc. And that was my very first band that got me into classic rock music. And I just love classic rock music ever since. And then my very first metal band experience was, on my own, I just chose, what the hell, I'll get Metallica. And it was the Black Album that got me started. But then I kind of phased out of Metallica because their stuff is really not that good. Then I switched over to Iron Maiden, and I'm a huge Iron Maiden fan now. I only have 2 albums, even though I got rid of the other album, but I still count it as having 2 albums. And The Number of the Beast is my first official Iron Maiden album, and it's a good album. I love it. It kicks ass. And my favorite rock album I have is Ronnie James Dio, and it's the very best of Dio, and he just makes me happy. And finally, I want to talk to you guys. Do you guys like Star Wars? Do you guys have a passion for rail fanning and acdc? I have a passion for rail fanning, and I've been a member of the Pennsylvania Railroad Museum for over 16 years. I've been gone since probably 2004 or 5. So I have a membership renewing it. I've been to the Durango and Silverton Narrow Gauge Railroad in 2004 and 2005. And I loved it. I loved the Rio Grande Railroad, the way the narrow gauge is. I love it. I've been to the Manitou and Pikes Peak Cog Railway, and I love that. I've been to the Verde Canyon Railroad. I have been to the Great Smoky Mountain Railroad. Pretty good railroad. And then I've been to the Western Mail and Scenic, and I think the only locomotive I rode there was 3 times was 734. Beautiful locomotive. It's a shame it's going under a rebuild for 1,472 days. But later this summer, we'll be getting 1309, a big articulated steam locomotive. I think it's a 2662, I am not sure. But it's a Chesapeake and Ohio locomotive, so that's going to be good to see, and I can't wait to ride it. Maybe in the cab, maybe not, but I can't wait to ride it. And I think I plan on this summer doing a train trip going down to the Great Smoky Mountain Scenic, going and I never been to the Casa Scenic, and I never been on the new Taggart Flyer, and I never been to the Potomac Eagle, and that's my goal this summer to go. So what do you guys think? Do you guys love rail fanning? Do you guys love Star Wars? If so, please watch this video, because this is from the honest heart. I love Star Wars. I love trains. More than Star Wars, more than music. Rock on, acdc, choo choo, rock on.